Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. We're back here with some more Killer Instinct, and today we're going to be discussing the future of KI. The future of KI as it stands in the fighting game community. In the world of fighting games, can Killer Instinct stay relevant going into the future, especially going into 2014? Now, one of the biggest changes that has happened for Killer Instinct as a game, of course, is Double Helix, the developer that created and started Killer Instinct, the reboot, is no longer going to be working on the title moving into 2014. They're going to be finishing up Season 1's content, which includes Fulgore, as well as possibly the story mode. After that, though, they're done. It's game over for Double Helix. They're moving on to different things. Amazon Games purchased them out. Microsoft has said, however, though, as I said in the past, that they do plan on continuing the Killer Instinct franchise. But will it be too late? Will it be too late for KI? One of the biggest sort of battles that Killer Instinct has been fighting since it launched is the fact that it's an Xbox One exclusive. It's great, it's a free-to-play game, it's a wonderful game, but the majority of people in the fighting game community do not have the money or have not purchased Xbox Ones. Therefore, Killer Instinct is out of their reach. And I see it all the time. I see it at the run back. I see it at, Wednesday night fights. There's a lot of people who are really hyped for Killer Instinct, always bringing it up. When's KI? When's this? KI is a great game. And then there's that other group of people that really don't want anything to do with it. And I think a lot of that hate comes from the fact mostly that it's not really hate, they just don't care about the game because they can't afford to play it. They can't afford a $500 console, and then, they can't afford to play the game. It's out of reach for a lot of people in the fighting game community, and that has been a never-ending battle for Killer Instinct since it has launched, is trying to bring in this fan basis with, let's be honest, a really limited install basis. You'd like to think that since it's free-to-play game, everyone who has purchased an Xbox One, the 3.5 million people who have purchased an Xbox One, would be playing Killer Instinct, and I'm sure they've tried it, but that doesn't mean that every single one of those guys are die-hard fighting game fanatics and they're going to play Killer Instinct over and over. The fighting game community as a whole is rather small to begin with, even when you start talking about, the people playing Super Street Fighter. Yeah, there's a lot of people playing Street Fighter, there's a lot of people playing those games, Blaze Blue, Tekken, Super Smash, but still, it doesn't compare to the size of something like, a first-person shooter. It doesn't have that same sort of attraction. So then when you cut the install basis pretty much into a quarter with only allowing people to play on one console that is a brand new console that costs quite a bit of money, you're really putting yourself at a struggle from the start. But Killer Instinct has still done well. A lot of people in the fighting game community, big names, Alex Valle, a lot of big YouTubers, Maximilian Dude, even Freddie Wong, no, sorry, not Freddie Wong. Freddie Wong, that's not the guy I'm talking about. Some other big dudes in the fighting game community, guys who have been playing Street Fighter for a very long time, PR Balrog, have been playing Killer Instinct and making a push for it because they think it's a genuinely special fighting game. They really, really enjoy it. And it's sad that, it could possibly die out at the end of this year. It could, stop being relevant because of this big change that's happening with Double Helix. Microsoft really needs to grab a hold of the situation. They need to let us know what's going on. They need to know what developer is going to be working on the game. They need to let us know soon. We need to get some idea that Killer Instinct is in good hands and that it's going to be moving forward. We need some sort of proof for that. We need to see possibly, I don't even know, footage of something that's going to be releasing later this year, confirmation, solid confirmation of who is working on Season 2 and when Season 2 is coming. It needs more, more stuff if it's going to stay relevant in the fighting game community. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a small group in the community that are really striving to keep Killer Instinct relevant, to keep it a part of the community. The biggest people of that are the guys over at the Walnut Super Arcade in California doing the run back every Thursday night with Killer Instinct featured as one of the games during the tournament. There's a ton of guys there. They want to see Killer Instinct succeed. They want to see it stay in the fighting game community, and I would love to see that as well. It's a fighting game that I'm actually kind of decent at. I always sucked at Street Fighter, and this has kind of been the game that has really just been my joy. I've loved playing this. It's been a really wonderful and joyful experience. And to see it disappear, to see it sort of fade out, and to one day go online and not find anyone playing the game would just really be sad. It would be a really, really sad thing. Especially after Double Helix managed to build this game completely from the ground up, just from scratch. Make this fighting game that's been able to compete with Super Street Fighter and all of these other games. And therein lies another big issue, is the fact that Ultra Street Fighter is going to be dropping very soon, and it's also rumored that it may be coming out on the PlayStation 4, maybe the Xbox One. If Ultra Street Fighter has a next-gen console release, that could be bad news for Killer Instinct. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're two very, very different games. But there's going to be a lot of people who are playing Killer Instinct who maybe get tired because there's not enough content, you know, they wanted a story mode, who are going to jump ship to Ultra Street Fighter if it pops up on the Xbox One. Not to mention, you know it's going to be available on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and most likely the PC, as with the past Super Street Fighter games. That is a massive install base right there that Street Fighter is going to be able to tackle, and that is why that game has managed to remain so successful. They've really been able to push it out on just about every single console that they can, you know, even on PC, which is a rarity. Not many fighting games over the past, you know, decade have been popping up on PC, and they kind of set the trend for that, I would say, and they've made that push, and, you know, since then Super Street Fighter and Super Street Fighter Arcade have been on PC. That is the other issue. When we start talking about a lack of content for Killer Instinct, the story mode is a really big missing aspect, that single player sort of story. People enjoy that. There are people who like fighting games for the story mode. They like playing against the AI on like Medium or something like that because they don't quite have the skill to go online and be competitive and have a good time. That's why you need the story mode. That again is going to attract a whole nother audience to Killer Instinct. It's going to help keep sales up for the game, it's going to help keep the game active in the community, and it's going to help keep it relevant in general. It's going to help it stay in the news, so to speak, keep people informed on it. Because that's what you need to do. You can, you know, everybody in the fighting game community can be like, oh yeah, I know what Killer Instinct is, we've been playing it. But you need to kind of, you know, make Killer Instinct shine outside of that. It needs to be something that people recognize as a whole in general, everywhere they go, you know. Even people who don't play fighting games, they need to recognize what Killer Instinct is in the same way that they recognize what Super Street Fighter is, and Super Street Fighter Arcade, and Super Smash Brothers. You know, it just needs to be a game that people know. They hear the name and they say, oh yeah. They don't think of the classic Killer Instinct way back in the day, Killer Instinct 2. They think of Double Helix's reboot of KI. That's what they need to think of. So, the future of Killer Instinct is really hanging in the balance. I'm sure there's people somewhere who have answers as to what the hell is going to be happening with KI and where it's going to be, and, you know, who's going to be working on it. And I wish they would just come out and give us some damn answers. Let us know what's going on so we can continue to enjoy KI with the knowledge that the game will be here moving forward into 2014 and into the future. Because I would hate to see this be a one and done. You know, a game that came out, blew everyone away, and then just sort of disappeared off the face of the earth. That would be a very sad, very depressing thing, and it's not something I would look forward to. Let me know your thoughts on Killer Instinct, the future of the game. You know, would you think it would have done better if it was, you know, on multiple platforms, on the PS4, on the Xbox One? I understand this game can't actually run on the last-gen consoles, and I also understand it is a rareware thing. There's no way it could have came out on the PS4, but would it not have done better? You know, would it have sold better? Would it help it stay more relevant? Most likely, I would like to think that it would. It would definitely give it a huge advantage. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.